Hey YouTubers, welcome back. Today we're going to do a question and answer session from our viewers. The first question is from Jimmy at Fitz 1962, and he asks the question: I have a bathroom which had a textured ceiling. I painted with Olympic premium flat latex paint. Within 24 hours it peeled and flaked. It goes on to say that he scraped it, sanded it, and then repainted. 6 to 8 showers later, it cracked and peeled again. He says, I have scraped nearly all the paint off again. What should I do before I paint it all again? Well, so obviously, in Jimmy's case, he has adhesion problems, and adhesion problems come because the temperature is fluctuating too much on the surface substrate that the paint is on. So we're assuming that it's drywall, a drywall surface that had the textured ceiling in the first place, and then when he scraped all that off, he's left with a drywall ceiling with paint on it. The only reason that the paint would fail to adhere would be as if you're getting excessive heat or cold above it that is affecting the temperature and is not allowing the paint to adhere. The paint might dry, but it's not bonding to the surface. So to resolve this problem, you have to make sure that you have ventilation in the ceiling above, or in the space above where the problem area is, and you have to make sure that moisture is being ventilated out of the room, out of the shower space or the bathroom, so that the moisture isn't affecting the situation as well. Once these things are resolved, you should be able to re-prime with 100% acrylic latex primer. Doesn't matter which brand you use, and then use a finish of your choice, but make sure it's designed for a bathroom or kitchen application where it might be somewhat mildew and moisture resistant. But again, you want to use 100% latex. So I hope this helps out. I hope it helps the other viewers out there. Next question is from Donny Boy 73, and it says, what do I paint first, the walls or baseboard? Well, I guess this depends entirely on the situation. If you're doing a new paint or if you're doing a repaint, it might make a difference. If I'm doing a new construction and I spray all my trim and doors, then that means I paint all the trim first, and then what I do is mask off the baseboard. It's probably likely the only thing that would get some spray off the roller when I paint the walls. If I'm doing a repaint, I may do the walls first, and then if the job is including painting the trim, I would do it second. So I'll just give you a couple of pointers as to how I go about it. So let's assume that this trim has been painted. This trim is finished paint. It's not getting another coat, but this wall has to be painted. When we roll this, as the roller comes down the wall, you may get some overspray on the top, or you may even get drips or runs hitting the surface of this baseboard, in which case there's another good reason why we want to have a damp cloth on us at all times. But to avoid any of that, what we could do is take some tape, and all we do is place it on the very top edge of the baseboard and just press down on it like that. We don't have to stick the whole tape down, because if it gets left for any amount of time it could end up leaving some tape residue. But we just leave it flat like that, so any paint that comes down gets trapped and doesn't go on the base. Now if we are going to paint this trim, what we can do is just go ahead and paint our walls, cut in and roll. And the reason why we leave the baseboard till last is because when we're painting, I'm just using this brush as a demonstration, when we're painting we put the paint on and then we can cut in down on this top edge and it leaves a perfectly straight line. If we try to cut in with our wall paint, chances are it's going to be a little bit rough, somewhat like it is there. But if we had our finish paint on here and cut in on top, allowing the force of gravity to work in our favor, we get a perfectly straight line. And then of course we're finishing with this top coat, so if there were any little fine spots of paint, we would cover that over with the finished paint. Now having said that, that applies to the baseboards only. If we are painting the trim and the wall, we want to paint the trims first, because it's harder to cut in this with the finished paint than it is to cut in the wall. So if we're painting trim and walls, we do our window trims and our vertical trims first, then we paint the walls out, then we paint our baseboards. I hope that helps you out, Donny Boy, and I hope it helps the other viewers out there. If you have any other questions, I'll try to respond at least on the video that's associated with it. If you have questions that I haven't done a video on yet, you can leave them and I will do my best to produce a Q&A, or even do a video demonstration if I'm in a position to. So by all means, like the videos, subscribe, and until next time, it's been Craig the Muskoka Painter, helping you take the pain out of painting.